As someone who trains and coaches sales professionals for a living, I can tell you that I spend a lot of time, of course, listening to sales pitches and processes, analyzing them, and reviewing that with the sales professionals. And one thing that really always bothers me, that's prevalent and that is a mistake in my opinion, is what I would call kitchen sink selling, and kitchen sink closing. And of course, what I mean by that is throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the customer. This happens at many stages during the sales pitch. Sometimes someone will do that, the salesperson will do that during their presentation. Just inundate the customer with every single feature and benefit, and just a verbal brochure. They've gone through the training. That, and sometimes it's the more earnest, capable, devoted salespeople that have spent the time doing the training, learning it, have all this knowledge, and just give it all to the customer without thought for what this particular customer's concerns are, hot points are, trigger points, what's getting them excited. You're hitting them with 90% of the shit they don't care about. So it's a waste of your time. There's other opportunities. If you can shorten it up, get this deal closed, move on to the next one, sell 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 a day, depending on your business, as opposed to giving a great big long sermon with this customer, makes a big difference. But kitchen sinking happens a lot at the close. So we've done our presentation, the customers are very close, we like each other, it's happening, but then there's a hesitation at the end, some sort of objection, okay? And it's natural, normal for the salesperson. They start to feel the sale slipping away, they start to feel something's going wrong, get a little bit panicky, get a little bit desperate, not quite sure, you're sort of grasping at straws. This is a salesperson in this example that maybe doesn't have a good read on where they are in this sales pitch, and so they start to kitchen sink. Did I mention it's got this? It's also got this. Did I tell you about this? Did I tell you we have a wonderful service center? We're local. It's on sale. And just every single positive thing I can think of to say is just going to come spewing out of my mouth randomly. That's kitchen sinking. This is ineffective. It's white noise. It's too much. It's a fire hose of information for the customer. It's not ordered. It's not purposeful. You don't know why you're doing it. You don't know what you're saying anymore. You're just talking. And it's indicative of really, I was going to say one of my pet peeves, but we're trying to be positive. We're trying to help each other, learn, grow, become better salespeople. But you have to identify where there's problems. But it's indicative of a salesperson who has terrible situational awareness. You need to be hyper aware at all times of where you are in this sales pitch. Where am I? Is the customer with me? Or what are they thinking? Where are we here? What stage of the process am I in? If you don't know, then you're already in trouble. And you should be touching the desk or turning over to your sales manager or pausing. Let me check on one thing for you. Asking questions from the customer to gauge, where are we? Does that make sense so far, customers? Are you with me so far? Okay so far, does that make sense? Any questions so far? What are your thoughts so far? You got to test the waters to see, because if you don't know what the hell you're doing, then how do you know where you're going to go? You need to have a direction. Everything that comes out of your face should be measured, purposeful, and with the goal of getting you closer to a deal, obviously. You're not just talking to hear yourself talk. You're not just talking to prove to the customer how much you know about the product, how much you know about your market, how much you know about your own business. Tell them all about yourself and your past life and the kids and everything. That's great. That's rapport building. But it's not supposed to be an hour-long rapport building session. You're the professional salesperson. Your job is to take control of this conversation. The bus driver drives the bus. The train conductor drives the train. The professional salesperson is supposed to drive the conversation, steer the conversation, control the flow, the pace of the conversation, so we can get to a sale. But if you don't know where you are in the process, if you don't have situational awareness, then everything is a bit muddled. And you have to work at it. You have to work at it. One of the reasons why I like sales coaching is a very selfish reason. Is I love to talk about this stuff. And I love to talk. I love the sound of my own voice. I could talk about sales and sales-related stuff and sales coaching every day, all day for the rest of my life. Now, maybe that helps when you want to do some YouTube videos. But it doesn't always help you in a sales pitch. You can absolutely talk too much. That's my flaw. A lot of salespeople's flaw is talking too much. You have to be listening to the customer, asking questions, slowing down, pausing, stopping. If you're a true sales professional and you've thought about your presentation, you've thought about foreseeable objections, and you've got well-rehearsed, practiced, polished, forceful, impactful ways to handle these objections. You're just begging the customer to hit you with one of these so you can knock it out of the park. If they don't bring it up, you'll bring it up. That's how prepared you are. When you have those fun, powerful, impactful things to say, if you don't shut up, slow down, and let the customer digest that, feel that impact. You're right. That is, I'm glad you brought that up. That is a good way to think of it. I'm glad you showed us that other product. I'm glad this is a new way we weren't thinking about that, but now that makes sense. It's all just a waste. You can't just be a fire hose yakking and yakking and yakking. It's supposed to sound like a conversation, but only one of you is being paid to do it right. They're the amateur. You're the professional. You're the one that's supposed to know where this conversation is going, why it's going in a particular direction, and it's supposed to be going in your direction, getting towards a sale that is good for the customer, ethical, and makes them happy. But nevertheless, you are the professional that's supposed to be steering this conversation. So practice being aware. Every now and then in your sales pitch, while you're talking to a customer, you should be in your head thinking, do I know where I am right now? Do I know where I am in this sales pitch? Am I getting closer to a sale or further away from a sale? Am I talking to the decision maker? Do I know what their objection is right now? Do I know what their hesitation is? Do I have a guess of what it's going to be? Have I planted some seeds? Have I asked some probing questions? Do I have a strategy in mind? What product am I going to show them next? What benefit am I going to bring up next? How am I going to handle what I think they're going to say next? If you're not thinking that in your head, you're not doing it right. You're not a professional salesperson. Forgive me. You're just presenting and talking and taking orders and pointing things out. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. Let me show you this one. That's not professional selling because you're not aware of your surroundings and you're not doing it purposefully. Okay, so think about that. Practice your situational awareness, and we'll talk next time. Thanks, bye.